Uh, Susan, as been mentioned before, is the founder of Belize Natural Energy. So Susan, I will turn it over to you with the following caveat. Please do not just coddle to the students from Belize. You must be an equal opportunity coddler and coddle everyone. Susan, take it.
Very well said. You spotted me right, John. Just a quick bit of background. Can everybody hear me? Can you give me a thumbs up? Okay, great. A quick bit of background on why John said such a thing was because over 35 years ago, I went to Belize as a wee young geologist. And I'd been asked by a sort of a rather eccentric English oil man, and he got on the telephone. He said, "Susan, is there any oil down here?" And I said, "Well, where are you?" And it was in 1982, and in 1981, Belize had just gone independent and changed. Actually, their name had been changed before that, but it was starting to be recognized instead of British Honduras, Belize. I did a bit of research and thought, oh, you know, geologists can time travel. I went back 100 million years in my mind, actually, and with bits of data points, and realized that there was a big basinal area in Belize, Guatemala, Mexico, and actually Cuba was docked just about where Ambergris Key is right now. Cuba was sitting there. And there were little oil fields, still are little oil fields on the northern coast of Cuba. So I knew that there had to be oil in Belize. So I jumped on the plane and went down. And what happened next, I didn't realize would happen. I fell in love with Belizeans, the whole country of people. And it had never happened to me before. In fact, even in Ireland, they say, how come you didn't come back and do that in Ireland? But the point was that it created a motivation, a desire, and a passion in myself. And that actually, as life would have it, attracted myself and Mike Usher to come together. Now, the Belizeans may know the Usher family because Miss Jane Usher started the credit union in Belize City, where a number of you are coming in from. But Mike and I met up here in Denver, Colorado. And isn't it a small world how this all happens? An amazingly small world. I was going on about Belize up in Denver, around Highlands Ranch, downtown Denver. And this gentleman, a French gentleman, said, there's a Belizean here learning surveying. And it was Mike. And I just told him how I'd fallen in love with the country, the people, the setting, everything. And he said he wanted to go back and discover oil, but do it, the word would be holistically, for and with the people of Belize and in harmony, in balance with the environment. And I think I might be answering some of the last questions there, which is, can the oil business do it in a way that is cleaner and more in harmony? And I can't speak from them all, but that was our vision. And if you have that as your goal and you understand that visionary capacity, by the way, which all of us have, it's just using it. Because if you don't use it, you lose it. Sort of like a muscle. If you don't use your biceps, well, they'll go all flat. That's very much the same with the mind muscle. Use it and jump right out, and and it really will be and serve you well, because your mind is with you and you every second of the day. So anyway, Mike and I tried to find oil because that was both of our business, and we tried for 15 years, but it wasn't until, and we've had a talk about this as educators here, it wasn't until we understood how our mind worked for that total alignment and, you might say, harmony, to access the essence of ourself, our innate gift. That's where all of you students have a great advantage, because you're young, because that energy that you were born with. I have a little granddaughter who's 6, so I see it every moment. In fact, she may very well rush in here in the middle of this, but she exhibits it, but it gets diluted and sometimes covered over. But what I would say to you all, cherish that energy, cherish that joy and that enthusiasm, and find your path of passion and go for it. Now let's just that by the way, that's how we discovered the oil. We went to a special course on learning how the mind works. We came back, we started Belize Natural Energy, and then suddenly, and this is a bit of a sad bit, Mike died. And he died on the 24th of June 2004. And I was more determined to go on. But we only had a small amount of money. And we had a big block, 500,000 acres, because nobody believed we had a chance. So we had a license onshore Belize, north of the Maya Mountains, basically from the Guatemalan border, Benque, all the way up through Hillbank, Rancho Dolores, Retaliation, and down through Belmopan. So the Belizeans have an advantage there. They can see the general shape of that. The Cayo district, we call it. And anyway, we tried and tried, and it wasn't until we literally joined the dots, got our ducks in a row, and understood that alignment, that we were able to tune in. Mike died. I named the first well after him, the Mike Usher #1. And I think that actually gave us more, almost like a universal energy, that his spirit has been with us ever since. And against all odds, on the exact day of Mike's death, 1 year later, the 24th of June, 2005, on the first well, unheard of in the energy business, we hit. And it was a gusher. It was the Mike Usher gusher. And the oil was so light, a total gift from God, that it still goes into the local generators without refining, because Belize has no refinery. And I mean, might say, how lucky is that? So we've been the #1 revenue generator for quite a while. Maybe, for instance, tourism would have more employees, because there were lots more hotels, etc. But the ratio of what we give to the government, it's part of the joint venture with the government. And in any project like this, it's a big joint venture. And we've drilled the Mike Usher #1, Mike Usher #2, Mike Usher #3, Mike Usher #4, all up in the Spanish Lookout area. And we're actually on Mike Usher #21. And we've since discovered another field called the Never Delay field near Belmopan.